to country, and can I add my acknowledgement to elders past and present. This is a very personal cause that brings me here today at a number of levels. In my own family, in just the past week, we've been dealing with this issue quite directly, and that goes on. And I want to extend, while maintaining the privacy of that situation, my best love and wishes to the family members who are affected by that, even as we speak, even in this last few hours. Can I also acknowledge, in addition to David and Tony and the others who've spoken, my brother's here, Al Morrison. He's a paramedic. Many of you might know my father was a policeman. Well, my brother's a paramedic. My brother-in-law was a fiery, so we've got the services pretty much covered off around the place. And some years ago, on the similar topic, I was down in Cronulla and I was experiencing some rather serious chest conditions, and the doctor called the ambulance, and the ambulance turns up, and I jump in, I didn't jump in, they carried me into the back of the ambulance. I wasn't in the mood for jumping at all at the time. And my brother, who's paramedic and heading up the educational service in the New South Wales Ambulance Service, so well known in the ambulance service, I get in the back of this ambulance, and the two attending ambulance officers say to me, are you who we think you are? And I went, well, who do you think I am? And they said, are you Al Morrison's brother? They were clearly very concerned not to be at rest on the job that day with Al. But this is an experience that some 25,000 Australians experience. I mean, that's the size of a town of around about Armidale or Alice Springs. That's a lot of Australians who are impacted by this every single year. And it's a very real risk. And it's a very real situation which Australians and their families and their loved ones and their friends and their work colleagues, or indeed people just walking by, may well find themselves in the situation where they're called upon to give assistance. And only 1 in 10 people survive a sudden cardiac arrest. In some cases where they're in a position to be close by to hospitals or other emergency services, then obviously that can improve. But for many, it could be anywhere, at any time, and it can claim lives, and it can rob loved ones from their families, friends, fathers, husbands, wives, grandparents, all in an instant. And every shred of evidence tells us that lives are saved when a witness to a cardiac arrest, a bystander, steps up to perform CPR, and if they can, use a defibrillator while an ambulance is on the way. And you know, sometimes too many of us are a bit scared to step in. I could stuff this up. I could make it worse. I wouldn't want to be responsible for that, and I can understand that. But what Tony and the rest of the team are really trying to get across to you today, through this very important Restart Our Heart Day, is to build awareness and education that, and they tell me, believe me, they say, there's nothing you can do to make that situation worse. It's already pretty grim. And so you being able to step up and step in, I think, is an important thing for every Australian to do. In this country, it's one of our core values. We look after our mates. And when you're looking after your mates, you don't walk past, you don't walk by, and you step up and you do what you can, as I know so many Australians do. Now, 3/4 of sudden cardiac arrests occur in the home, so it's all important, we all know, adults and kids. I mean, how good are the stories when you hear of the kids who know this, and they call O. Alan and my father once was overseeing the O Centre there in Sydney many, many years ago. Now, kids ring in. What courage does that take? What initiative does that take? And that's a product of how parents have these discussions with their kids. And we have to have these discussions with our kids, because it may be you lying there on the floor while you're waiting for one of your kids to pick up the phone and call O. So there are 3 things. Call the emergency number, 000. Start the CPR. Jump on and start going. Bang, bang, bang. As hard as you can. And if you know how to do it properly, well, that's even better. And if you're a member of a surf lifesaving club, or you're a member of the St John's Ambulance, or there are many other opportunities where Australians can go and they can get that training and they can be on hand in circumstances like this. But to start the CPR, and where one is available, use a defibrillator, and if there is one, and to shock. And I've done that before, using in trials the instructions are very easy to follow. You just read them, you compose yourself, you gather yourself, and you focus on what's right in front of you. Our ambulance officers and our medical health professionals and those attending on the scene do amazing things. They really do. And I respect them greatly. It's not just because my brother serves in that area that I have a special understanding of this, but one of the things that Al's always told me when I've asked him when he's attending some of the most horrific things on a scene. And those ambulance officers and others there, they have to carry that around with them all the time, those images, what they're feeling at the time. And I've asked him, how do you deal with that? How do you focus at a time like this? And he says, you just deal with what's in front of you. You just focus on the job that you have. And I want to thank all of those ambulance officers and all of those who are providing these services all around the country. That focus, that discipline, that compassion, that care is what saves the lives. And we can all do it. Even I can. We can all do it if we step up and we do those three things. Call the emergency number, start the CPR, and use a defibrillator if there is one to shock. So many organisations are here and involved. Clubs, businesses, shops, communities, finding out how they can provide this assistance through the many organisations represented here. The CAA, their member services, supportive organisations including the Australian Resuscitation Council, and of course Martin and the Royal Flying Doctor Service, who the government is very pleased to support. St John's National, the Heart Foundation, they're all there doing their job. And we're backing them in to do that. And the best way all Australians can back them in to do that is just take this simple message, have this chat with your mates, have it with your families, have it with your kids, have it with those you're out and about with. And so if we do see it happen, you can step up and you can save a life. So I urge all Australians to learn how to restart a heart day, and very pleased to be here for this very important occasion, getting this message out. Thank you all very much. Cheers.